Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Archana Solanki. Here are the headlines we're tracking this evening. The explosion in Delhi's Red Fort area was premature as the bomb was not fully developed, say investigating authorities. More than 200 raids conducted across Jammu and Kashmir. A woman doctor has been arrested. This is the 8th arrest of a suspected terror module believed to be behind the blast which killed 13 people. All-round gains helped the DStreet close higher for the third straight day. Nifty and Sensex gained nearly 1%. Mid-cap index hits a record high. Online trading platform Groww lists at a 12% premium on the DStreet. Market capitalization hits 80,000 crores on the very first day. Tata Motors commercial vehicle arm lists at a 28% premium. Asian Paints reports a stellar second quarter, beating estimates on all parameters. Volume growth of nearly 11% is well above expectations. Profit rise 47%. IT stocks gain after US President Trump appears to defend the H1B visa program, says America needs to bring in talent from around the world as it doesn't have certain talents in the country. This comes nearly 2 months after the US added a $100,000 fee on H1B visas. Weeks after Meli Mistri's ouster, Noel Tata's son Neville inducted into the board of the flagship Sir Dorabji Tata Trust. Former Titan MD Bhaskar Bhatt also appointed as a trustee. Tata Trust has also revised Venu Srinivasan's tenure from life term to 3 years in light of a new Maharashtra law. The law restricts perpetual trustees to 1/4 of a trust total board strength. Lenders are voting on 5 resolution plans to revive debt-ridden JP Associates. Sources say Vedanta, Adani Group, Dalmia Bharat, Jindal Power and PNC Infratech are in the fray. Voting will remain open till the 20th of November. New Delhi remains the most polluted city in the world as air quality hovers between hazardous and severe. Primary schools go hybrid, construction and demolition activities banned. Residents advised to remain indoors during early mornings and late evenings. A group of indigenous people stormed the COP30 climate summit in Brazil, sparking a clash with security officials. Indigenous leaders are seeking more influence in decisions concerning forest management. All right, let's start with the day's market action. The DStreet was up for the third straight day amid all-round gains. Nifty and Sensex rose nearly 1%. Reliance was the top contributor, rising to 5-month highs. The mid-cap index hit record highs, but banks underperformed the blue chips. Prashant Nair is here with the details. Prashant, what sparked this rally?
Well, a strong open on the back of the exit polls out of Bihar, which gave the ruling NDA alliance one more term. The final results, the actual results, of course, are on Friday. But I think the markets took what the exit polls showed with both hands. Markets opening higher and then continuing to build on those gains. So by the end of it, over 0.75% gain on the Nifty Bank, much softer today. The mid and small cap indices both up over 0.75% as well. So it was not just the large caps, but broader markets which also did very, very well. Just one shout out, of course, to the IT services index, which ended about 2% higher. And at the margin, with Bihar out of the way, all eyes on, of course, what will happen with the US-India trade deal, whether it's closer than before. I think those things influencing the IT index. By the way, the sector has done well over the last 3 or 4 days now. Large caps, right? I mean, Asian Paints became the stock of the day, but it really was the stock of the hour because numbers came in the last 60 minutes of trade. Stock ending about 4-5% higher. Adani Enterprises was up sharply. Tech Mahindra was up quite a bit. HDFC Life, TCS, Bajaj Finserv also participating. Bajaj Finserv, of course, along with Bajaj Finance, was one of the big losers yesterday. Not very much of significance on the way down as far as the Nifty goes.
Right, and as Prashant was mentioning, IT stocks took solace from President Trump's softening stand on the H1B visa program. So here's what happened. US President Donald Trump appeared to defend the H1B visa program even as his administration continues a major crackdown, including imposing a $100,000 fee on new applications. In an interview to Fox News, Trump acknowledged the importance of highly trained immigrant workers. He argued that long-term unemployed Americans cannot simply be placed in complex manufacturing and defense roles without extensive training.
H1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration, because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles.
All right, let's put the spotlight on the big set of numbers. The government has released the retail inflation data for the month of October, and it's come in at a record low. Lata Venkatesh joins us now. Lata, please take us through the numbers.
Well, actually, the inflation number has come in as expected. Our poll threw up a number of 0.25%, which is a ridiculously low number. Of course, after the new CPI number came in, a new CPI index came in 2013, this is the lowest ever. Last month also was the lowest ever. But 0.25%, even perhaps historically, would rank in as one of the lowest numbers we have got. And the big culprit or the big contributor is food inflation, which is a deflation. It's coming in at minus 5.02. As you can see, this is a 5-month consecutive negative number or lower year-on-year food prices that we are getting. The core inflation would be slightly higher. It's a calculated number, but that would perhaps come in at about 4.5% or thereabouts. There again, the base is playing a role, but core inflation is also impacted by gold prices. Gold prices shot up in October, as you remember. That is counted in personal services. And therefore, we have to look at the non-gold core inflation number, which is likely to be highly low. The important point to note is food inflation has come in below our poll. Our poll gave us an average of about minus 4.1. At minus 5.1, it clearly indicates that inflation in coming months is likely to be lower than what the street is prepared for. Items like cereals and pulses have fallen even month on month. And of course, year on year, there has been a massive reduction in these numbers. Cereals inflation stands at 0.9 year on year. Month on month, it has fallen. Likewise, a big fall in vegetables, minus 27% year on year. Remember, a year ago, it was those big potato and tomato inflation, 100 rupees a kilo tomatoes. So all that is leading to a very low number in the current year. The big question, of course, will have to be whether there is a 0.25% inflation will make the Reserve Bank cut. We will discuss that later on in the show. But importantly, inflation in line with expectations, food inflation lower than expectation.
All right, thank you, Lata, for that. Shifting focus now, online trading platform Groww made a blockbuster debut, listing at a 12% premium over the issue price. The company's 6,600 crore rupee IPO received a good response, with the issue being subscribed over 17 times. The subscription was largely led by institutional investors. The stock ended the day with gains of 30%, capturing a market cap of nearly 80,000 crores. Shares of Tata Motors commercial vehicles business listed at a 28% premium to its discovery price. This listing comes after the commercial vehicles business demerged from the auto giant's passenger vehicles business on 1st of October. Speaking to CNBC-TV18, Executive Director of Tata Motors, Girish Wagh, said that listing commercial vehicles as a separate entity gives the company a sharper strategic focus. Right on to the IPO market. The second day of Physicswala's initial public offering saw subscription at 12% as of 4 p.m. Employees and retail investors led the subscription, followed by non-institutional investors. The company plans to raise 3,480 crore rupees via a fresh share sale, along with an offer for sale component. On to the day's earning action now. Asian Paints surged 6% after an all-round beat in the second quarter. Net profits rose 47% on an annual basis to come in at 1,018 crore rupees. Revenues climbed 6.4% to 8,531 crore rupees. Margins at 17.6% also topped estimates. The company's domestic decorative business volume growth beat street expectations to come in at 11%. Remember, Asian Paints had reported a one-time loss of 180 crore rupees in Q2 FY25. Auto giant Ashok Leyland has reported strong set of numbers in Q2, with margins rising to multi-quarter highs. Healthy volume growth during the quarter boost overall revenue. The management has said that the company is well positioned to achieve mid-teen EBITDA goal in the medium term. Now, however, the company has reported a one-time loss of 40 crore rupees versus a gain of 117 crore rupees a year ago. Shares of Hindustan Aeronautics slipped over 2% in trade after reporting an operationally weak set of numbers in Q2. Revenue was in line with estimates, and this was driven by healthy execution of strong order books. EBITDA was sharply below expectations, declining 5% on an annual basis. Profitability was hit by a sharp increase in provisions and material costs. It's a giant leap forward for the Tata Gen Next. 32-year-old Neville Tata, son of Tata Trust chairman Noel Tata, has been inducted into Sir Dorabji Tata Trust, one of the flagships behind Tata Trust. The decision comes just 2 weeks after Mehli Mistry was voted out from the Tata Trust board. Joining Neville on the board is Bhaskar Bhatt, a Tata veteran and former MD of Titan. Venu Srinivasan has been appointed as trustee for a 3-year term. Srinivasan's lifetime tenure was revised in line with the new Maharashtra law that limits the number of lifetime trustees in public trust. Noel Tata is now the only permanent trustee of Sir Dorabji Tata Trust. Mangalam Malu joins us now to decode what this means for the trust. Mangalam, a generational shift or continuity with change?
The Tata legacy has just turned a page. A new generation has stepped into one of the most powerful boardrooms of India, the Tata Trusts. 32-year-old Neville Tata, son of Tata Trust chairman Noel Tata and Alu Mistry, has been appointed as the trustee of the Sir Dorabji Tata Trust, effective November 12th. His appointment marks a generational shift in the trust that controls 28% of Tata Sons, which is the holding company of the Tata Group. Born into one of India's most respected business families, Neville represents the next wave of Tata leadership. He is the grandson of Simon Tata and the grandnephew of Ratan Tata. Educated at Bayes Business School in London, Neville holds a degree in business management, bringing with him an international perspective and a modern retail sensibility. He began his career with Trent Limited, the Tata Group's retail arm, in 2016. Over the years, he has worked across Trent's businesses, from packaged food and beverages to leading Star Bazaar, which is the group's grocery retail venture. In fact, he's also played a key role in the success of Zudio, which is the fast-growing value fashion chain that has become one of India's most talked about retail stories and added a lot of value to Trent, which eventually took the stock into Nifty as well. Joining Neville as a new trustee is Bhaskar Bhatt, the former managing director of Titan, who steered the company through a golden era of retail expansion between 2000 and 2020. The trust has also reappointed TVS Motors chairman Venu Srinivasan as the vice chairman for a 3-year term after revising its structure to comply with the new regulatory norms that cap the number of permanent trustees at 1/4 of a public charity board's strength. Following this change, Noel Tata now remains the only permanent trustee of the Sir Dorabji Tata Trust. The other trustees include Vijay Singh, Pramit Jhaveri and Darius Khambata. Together with the Sir Ratan Tata Trust and the Sir Dorabji Tata Trust, both of them hold a combined 66% stake in Tata Sons, giving it commanding influence over the Tata Group's holding company. With Neville Tata's induction, the trust signals continuity with change, strengthening governance while bringing in the next generation of Tata leadership. From Jamsetji to JRD, from Ratan to Noel, and now Neville, the Tata story enters its next chapter.
Right, thank you, Mangalam, for that. Shifting focus now, the race to acquire Jaiprakash Associates is heating up. Sources have told CNBC-TV18 that voting is underway on all 5 resolution plans submitted for the debt-ridden company. Proposals from Vedanta, Adani Group, Jindal Power and 2 other companies are under consideration by the Committee of Creditors. Sources have also indicated that voting will remain open till the 20th of November and will be subject to an extension if requested by the COC. Vedanta Group has submitted the highest offer in absolute terms, and this was followed by Adani and Group and the rest. Men's grooming brand, the Bombay Shaving Company, has raised 136 crore rupees in a combination of primary and secondary infusions. The round was led by 6 Sense Ventures with participation from the firm's founder, Patni family, office and others. The Gurugram-based company has raised a total of $51 million to date. The fresh funds will be used to expand its omni-channel presence, invest in capabilities and strengthen its brand. This fundraise marks a strategic step towards consolidation as the brand prepares for a potential IPO. The cabinet is likely to approve the rationalization of royalty rates for graphite, cesium and zirconium, according to CNBC Avaz sources. In addition, it's expected to approve an export promotion package of 25,000 crore rupees and the much talked about initial public offering of India Infrastructure Finance Company. All right, in global earnings now, Taiwanese electronics giant Foxconn's third quarter profits rose 17% on an annual basis. This was driven by growth in its artificial intelligence server business. Revenue was in line with estimates. The company said it expects operations in the second half of the year to maintain continuous quarterly growth. All right, it's time for a short break. Coming up next, the explosion in Delhi's Red Fort area was premature as the bomb was not fully developed, say investigating authorities. More details when we return. Welcome back. The Company Law Tribunal has concluded hearing the Vedanta demerger case. The government is opposed to the demerger. Now, Ashmit Kumar is here with more details. Ashmit, please take us through the court action and when can we expect a verdict?
Well, Vedanta, importantly, as far as the government is concerned, there are three key objections that the government has raised. Number one, the first objection was that Vedanta raised a lot of debt using the oil and gas assets, mortgaging those oil and gas assets. Now, that is something that Vedanta has responded to by essentially saying that, look, we've managed to get an NOC from as many as 8 banks to say that there is no lien. There is no lien as far as the oil and gas assets are concerned. So that's concern number one. But the other two concerns are something that the government has doubled down on. The first is the asset coverage ratio. The government is arguing that the total asset base that Vedanta has is north of 2 lakh crore rupees and that this fully covers, not just fully covers, but substantially covers the government claims, which is roughly about 16,700 crore rupees. What the government's concern is that after demerger, the oil and gas entity will have an asset base of just a little over 29,000 crore rupees, which reduces the asset coverage ratio. What the government is also arguing is that they are locked in an arbitral dispute with Vedanta, and that arbitral dispute and the amounts involved have not been disclosed. The government say that at the very minimum, Vedanta will have to pay them $222 million, and this could swell to over $1 billion, and that has not been publicly disclosed. Now, Vedanta says that as far as the oil and gas mortgaging those assets are concerned, that's something Vedanta says we've cleared our dues, that as far as the mortgaging is concerned, the NOCs have granted NOC going forward. Further, on the issue of asset coverage ratio, here Vedanta argues that even in case of the demerged entity commanding assets of over 29,000 crore rupees, that's still 1.8x the total government claims. And number three, as far as disclosure of contingent liabilities are concerned, liabilities, claims that are currently locked in litigation, to that Vedanta says that they are not required to disclose till the claims of the government are confirmed in a court of law. So as of right now, the NCLT reserving judgment on government's objections as far as the Vedanta demerger is concerned. The next clarity, of course, will come from the NCLT on the way forward.
All right. Thank you, Ashmit, for that comprehensive update. Shifting focus now, more than 200 raids have been conducted across Jammu and Kashmir as part of the probe into the explosion in Delhi's Red Fort area, which killed 13 people. A woman doctor has been arrested for her alleged links to a suspected terror module believed to be behind the blast. So far, the police have arrested 8 people linked to this module. A CCTV footage has surfaced which captured the moment a Hyundai i20 exploded, leading to chaos among the public. Sources say the explosion was premature as the bomb was not fully developed. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi has returned from Bhutan and he visited Delhi's Lok Nayak Hospital to meet those injured. He is also set to chair a high-level meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security. Timsy Jaipuria joins us with more details. Timsy, what are you picking up from investigating authorities?
The car bomb blast that rocked Delhi's Red Fort area on Monday evening is now being linked to a series of coordinated raids carried out by security agencies across Delhi NCR and Pulwama. According to sources, preliminary intelligence input suggest the explosion was premature. Investigating authorities sources say the impact of the blast was limited, with forensic teams finding no crater or shrapnel, indicating the explosive device was not fully developed. Sources also said that the raids conducted on the November 9th and 10th in Faridabad, Haryana had led to recovery of nearly 3,000 kgs of explosives, along with detonators, timers and other bomb-making materials. These raids were part of a broader crackdown on suspected terror modules, and officials believe the Red Fort blast may have been a desperate, hastily executed act under mounting pressure and panic. The Forensic Science Laboratory has now been tasked with matching the chemical composition of explosive traces from the Red Fort site with the material seized during the Faridabad operation. Security has been ramped up in and around the Red Fort area and key installations across the NCR region. Teams from the National Investigation Agency and Delhi Police are piecing together the sequence of events and probing possible cross-border linkages and local facilitation networks. The Union Home Minister has handed over the case to the NIA and instructed the Forensic Science Laboratory to expedite its report on the samples collected from the blast site and from the car that exploded. All agencies, in coordination with intelligence inputs from multiple states, are working together to break down the entire modus operandi and hunt for the culprits. Security remains tight in the capital and investigations are on at the highest levels.
All right. Thank you, Timsy, for that update. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business 360. More news and updates continue right here on CNBC TV 18. Thank you for watching.